and welcome to St Michael's Square here in Southampton. I'm outside Tudor House. My name's Andy and I'm part of the education team here at Tudor House, and what I thought I'd talk about in this short video is the sinking of the RMS Titanic. She sailed from Southampton in April 1912, and in this little area there are quite a few links to that story. First one, a slightly tenuous one. Tudor House is Southampton's oldest museum, but it did open in July 1912, so just a few short months after the sinking of the Titanic in April that year. One of the first acquisitions to the new museum, as it was then, was a sword that belonged to the commander, Captain Edward John Smith, so it was given to the museum. It's not on display here anymore, it's now up the road at Sea City. If we go a little bit further along, and we have this building here, which is on the site of a building that stood called St Michael's House. St Michael's House was built around the turn of the last century, so around about 1900, and it was designed to be for men who didn't have a permanent home, who didn't have a fixed abode, which could be men who were sort of living by their wits on the street, waifs and strays if you like, but to be honest it might also have been sailors, seamen, those working on the great ocean liners that came out of Southampton docks. And we know that 3 of the crew members on board the Titanic were living here or resident here. They were all in what was known as the Black Gang, which means that they were working in the engine rooms of the ship, and very sadly none of them survived. They were all lost at sea, which isn't massively surprising. If we go a little bit further along, we're on Upper Bugle Street here, and we're coming up to Simnel Street, and if I cross over the road, you can see the aptly named, given the subject of the video, the Titanic pub. It was renamed that in 2012 as part of the centenary of the sinking of the Titanic. But in this little cut through here, on Simnel Street, was some, they were called the Corporation Flats. And one of the crew members, again in the Black Gang, was a man who lived there, and actually he survived the sinking of the Titanic, so he was pretty fortunate. To be honest, around everywhere in the old town of Southampton you'll find these links to the Titanic. You don't have to go far, and so I'd encourage you, if you live in Southampton, if you're resident here, to or if you're visiting, just to try and find out a little bit more about this really impactful, important and tragic story. Thanks for watching.